Hi everybody, it's Dara, and this is a surprise, spontaneous video. You can thank Lisa, Avocado Cat, who probably will be here any second, because I had mentioned to her that I was gonna make the stuffing recipe and that I would do it on YouTube. And then I got involved in, well, what it is actually, let me back up a second. So years ago, when my mom was still here on this planet, every time I went home for Thanksgiving, we would make raw food. She would make it with me, and she was so good at recipe development. She was so very honest. So we are making, so we're making the stuffing recipe that my mom and I made on a video, one of her rare YouTube appearances in New Jersey for Thanksgiving. She's been gone probably 7 years, and it was probably a year before that, a year or two before that. So we had a fully raw, well, she and I had a fully raw Thanksgiving. That was actually the year that Herbie decided that there was not going to be any more turkey for Thanksgiving, because he read on AOL that what they did to the turkeys, and he thought it was awful. So it was a really exciting moment in time where, after many years of promoting raw food to my family in New Jersey, my favorite holiday with my mom, there was just so much love on Thanksgiving, and we would spend hours in the kitchen, the whole family really, making food. And I would do the raw food, probably 11 hours, with love, making raw food, and she would do it with me. So there is a video, some of you may remember, and it should be up, where my mom and I are making stuffing. And she'll be like, no, needs more pepper. Nope, it's not good yet. And so this is Lisa, Avocado Cat, prompted me to, she's like, we really should do that Thanksgiving recipe book with all of your beautiful recipes that we want to do every year and we haven't done. And it's really special. Like, she pulled together the recipes, and there's cauliflower mashed potatoes, and there's a raw vegan pumpkin pie, and my famous no turkey nut loaf, and all of these things that are so satisfying. You wouldn't even miss anything non-vegan at all. And so this is going to be a little bit of a variation on the recipe. I think my mom would approve. It was a mushroom-based recipe, and I'm actually going to be adding gluten-free bread. And I was sitting here doing my recipe development, the old recipe, and then I'm cutting in half just to make a small amount, and I can double it. This was like, I'm sure I was feeding like 7 or 8 people here. So I'm going to make a small amount, and if it's not enough, I'll double it for the recipe. And instead of using all mushrooms, I'm going to be using gluten-free bread. Hi, Amelia. Hi, Happy Days. Hey, Farah. We got Farah and Dara. So I'm going to tell Lisa I am live. She prompted it. She's like, just do it. I'm like, what? I'm concentrating. I'm flavor balancing. Let me wash my hands. You don't touch. I hope I'm not, yeah. The mic pack pulls down. I was like, all right, I'm still having to miraculously have a bra on, and I'm dressed. I can go live. So, there she is. She's here, of course. So we got Lisa in the house, and she was like, why not? I'm like, all right, why not? It's what I do. It's what we do. So if it weren't for Lisa, this recipe book would not be happening. It would stay in scratchy notes on the computer, but we're doing it. So it takes a little cheering, and it's going to take you all to order it to make, we're going to do a pre-sale, and just to get excitement around it, because it is an enormous amount of effort. I will never put out a recipe, nor have Lisa and I put out a recipe that we didn't try a number of times. The tonics ebook, the soups and smoothies ebook, not only are they perfect recipes, but they look beautiful via Lisa's photography and layout. So we're going to have a third ebook, and I'm really excited. So thank you, Lisa. And thank you guys. You're getting married. Congratulations, Desi Love. Thank you for sharing your happiness. I love the love. I love when people are in love. I love encouraging love. I love encouraging cuddles. I love encouraging good communication amongst the people so that you can make love and be happy. So that's really good. I'm really happy to hear that. That feels really good. So congrats. Congrats. So we have a lot of good vibes and love in the house. So basically, I cut up the mushrooms. That's the only thing I was doing when Lisa was like, you gotta go live. I'm like, I don't know. So I cut them up small. The recipe says bite-sized pieces, Lisa. I think we're going to say like thumbnail size. Like this one looks a little big, but I think it depends when you're making. If you're soaking it and it's going to be staying overnight, then the mushrooms will reduce in size because they're going to have nama shoyu and some sesame oil, and they will shrink a bit with the moisture of, let's say, the parsley and the moisture of the, what do we have? Lemon. And we also have something else that's wet. Onion, celery. So I'm going to leave them this size, and I can always say for the recipe, cut them smaller. Some are tiny and some are big. That's going to be fine. 1 cup. And then I used, this is a big change, gluten-free. Now, 8-10 years ago, there were not good gluten-free options. It was basically like Rudy's in the freezer. And Rudy's was like cardboard, maybe not if you toasted it. It was okay. Now we have the option to get gluten-free bread from Vegan Mario. He's my favorite. This one is one I grabbed at Air One. It's made by Grindstone Bakery, and it's quinoa, and it's amazing, as long as it has some like bounce to it. So there's a lot of options now. So we don't have to go and make my raw vegan almond pulp zucchini pulp bread, although we might have that recipe because it's stellar, and maybe you want raw. So I am so glad for you, Desi, love, because you're always sharing so much love here. So we have 1 cup of the breadcrumbs. Before it was like 4 cups mushrooms, and I was going to do 2 cups mushrooms, but now I'm doing 1 cup mushrooms, 1 cup. I forgot to tell, maybe Lisa, you can just message Cass in case she wants to know, so we're not leaving her out of the loop, our team Dara in Russia. All right, then we're going to have, instead of 2 cups apple, I'm going to do 1 cup apple. I feel pretty organized about this. I hope I'm not flashing anybody. The mic pack, I pulled down my slip. I'm always home in a slip. That's how I function over here, unless I'm in overalls painting or something. So we want the pieces to be small because this is not getting cooked. It's raw, and it won't. Apples are not going to really reduce in size too much. And remember, one of the number 1 things I told you guys is that when you're eating raw food, you want it to be tiny. Can you guys hear me okay? How can you get the holiday recipe book? Well, it's going to be up for pre-sale after I do some of the artwork for the cover, and then Lisa's going to put that up on the website so you can be the first to get it, maybe for a little discount. You will know and be notified and get it ASAP. So we're shooting for October 12th for it to be debuted and released. It's really tried and true, like just hard-based recipes that I made year after year. After my mom passed, well, just so you know, Thanksgiving is like, it's not Thanksgiving as much as it's a day that, you know, when I got divorced and I had a little baby and my mom was like, do whatever he wants via visitation, but get Thanksgiving. So every Thanksgiving, my daughter and I would go to my mom's, and it was just our time. Oh, so much love. And it never was quite the same after she was gone. I did my best, but the love remains for me. And right now I feel like it's time, especially now, to bring back that kind of love, because that's what's important with all of the stuff going on. What I believe in, what I know to be true, is that we're like miracles. Our bodies are miracles, and that given the right nutrients and sunshine and water and love and laughter, we can heal anything. If we're meant to stay here on this planet, we can mind ourselves and and heal from opportunity. You know, it's a health opportunity, but food is the thing. So much so that when my mom was leaving the planet, it was about 2 days before, and I knew she was going, and she knew she was going, and I said, what would you like me to tell Jada? What do you want me to tell her? And she said, tell her to listen to her mother about food. And so this is the premise, that eating this way, she knew it as she was leaving, is the way, and she fell off the wagon. She did not stay raw, and she was eating a lot of weird things, especially due to her glioblastoma brain tumor. And she wasn't, when I got to the house, I was shocked that it was in the refrigerator, but she knew that this was the way. And so this is the perfect time to make this kind of love. It's the perfect time to eat raw, organic produce, maybe a little bit of gluten-free bread, but stand-up food, you know. This is not time for convenience food. This is time, well, your food can be convenient. Eating an apple raw is extremely convenient. This is not a time for processed by man food, unless it's man in your own kitchen. Unless it's like, you know, processed in a way, like this is processed, but this is beautiful. So I just went on a whole tangent, and this is the time to make time for health, for sure. Or you'll be forced to make time for illness later, they say. That's perfect. So Farah Rose, I have a Jada Rose. Farah Rose, it will be ready. I would sign up. What I would do is sign up for the newsletter on my website, DARA'S.com. And so I called for 2 cups of apples, and I'm cutting it in half. I got to chop these tinier. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to chop. Good evening, Marina, darling. Doroshka. Oh, are you in Russia? Are you Russian? I'm mostly, if not 100% Russian. So, teacher of life experiences. That's so nice. Yeah, this is better. I don't mind the mushrooms being bigger because they'll soak up the moisture. But the apples, they're, you know, you just want little. You just want little bites. It contributes to what is called mouthfeel that I learned at culinary school. You really want to pay attention to mouthfeel. Picture biting into a big chunk of zucchini that has dressing on it, like a big chunk, versus teeny little chunks coated with the dressing. That's how you want to approach raw food. You're in Russia, Marina. Lisa's Russian, and she can speak Russian, actually. And Cass is Russian, and she is... Isn't it amazing? We can all work together from so very far. It's like the next day in Russia. In fact, she's probably sleeping. When I make the 2 o'clock in the afternoon videos, I'm going live every Wednesday and every Sunday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. She is awake. This is late. No, she was awake last night too. I think I made a video yesterday. I'm on fire. Okay, this is good and gorgeous. Can you see it? Yes. It's little and pretty. You can't go wrong. And my mouth is salivating because this is a really good apple. I had one last night before bed, and I have one for later. I'm very excited about that. Okay, so now we have our apple in. And I'm loving this apple. I want to eat it. This is so great. Sometimes for dessert, if I don't have the time to cut it up tiny, I cut up larger chunks, put it in a pan with a little bit of water, teeny bit of water, or a little bit of coconut oil, but water's fine, and then cinnamon and a tinge of maple syrup, and just kind of warm it so you smell, the smell's going through the house, and it's a little bit warmed. It's like having the healthiest kind of apple pie. So, are you speaking Russian? So now, let's go. That's let's set this aside because I'm going to eat this later for dinner. I'm going to get another cutting board, which people are raving. They're listening to me about the Epicurean cutting board. It's on my website, and I literally do not like to live without it. It's my favorite cutting board of all time, ever. This one's little, but it's going to work. Celery. That's easy because I just washed celery for tomorrow morning, and I keep it on the door of my refrigerator, ready to go, ready to chew, keeps it fresh and bright, and maybe I want a snack, and so I'll take a piece. Put a little nut butter, tahini, raisins, cranberries, but usually I just eat it. This is going to be, I called for a cup, so we only need like a half a cup, and these must be cut tiny. So you guys are getting that recipe video was funny because my mom and I were just like, I don't know, just creating it, figuring stuff out. I don't even know who and what was in that video. I think it was the year that Herbie, I have him on camera just saying, oh, no more turkey. He was like, couldn't even talk properly. Like he hadn't been raw vegan. Right after that, he gave up dairy and turkey. He'll know what year it was. He gave up dairy and turkey. I had been telling him for years, but when he read it on AOL, some people are like that. You could tell them, but when they hear it from someone else, right? If it's in the news, it's in the news, it's in print, but that's okay. Who cares how? And I remember I was like, of course you don't want to eat it. I went out to the garage with the camera and I opened up the freezer and in it was just this dead pink balled turkey freezing in there. And I was like, do you want to eat that? Like, do you want to eat this? This is what I want to eat. There's nothing less appealing to me than like a naked, dead, cold turkey. I'm sorry to be so graphic. So the premise of this recipe book is love the turkeys, don't eat them. Hug a turkey, don't eat it. It's just not necessary, especially when you try the nut loaf. It was 2015. Thank you. Can that be? No. Well, 2015 was definitely a Thanksgiving that I had here maybe with Jada and Jenna, and it was a Thanksgiving of friends giving here and Herbie, but he had moved out to California. But before then, the video, I think my mom passed in 2013, so the original New Jersey video, anyone who finds it, we'll link it. Actually, let's link it. I'm going to link it below this video. Well, I probably won't. Maybe Cass will or Lisa will, but we'll link it. And I'm not going to watch it because I'm going to cry. I could cry just thinking about it. Okay, no crying in the stuffing. My mom would make me laugh. She didn't want me to cry. 8 years ago. Turkeys are underrated birds. Turkeys are just leave them alone. Let's leave the turkeys alone. You don't have to love them or hug them, but you just don't need to eat them. That's much I can be sure. And if you ever want to cure yourself, and none of you need me to say this because I'm preaching to the choir, but if you ever think of looking at something cooked and thinking it looks like it's going to taste good, think about it in its raw state. Like just freshly no longer here, if you know what I mean, and everything under the skin, you most likely won't want to eat it. I forgot to measure. See what happens when I start talking? How much stuff do you think that was? This is exactly why I wasn't gonna, and I can't pick them out. They're so tiny. I would say that's like a quarter of a cup. Lisa. How much do you think I just, 2 stalks. Okay, that's easy. So what I'll do is, that was like 1.5 stalks. Guess what? It was half a stalk because this was already cut in half. So if I cut this, then I'll know how much I put in. That's really funny. I told you, I'm like, I can't concentrate. Talking with you guys is always more fun and more important than worrying about measuring. Measuring is always taxing to me, even if I have nobody on the phone. So I'm going to measure a half a stalk of celery and I'll know how much I put in. And then if there's a little bit too much celery, nothing's going to go wrong. So we don't need to be so exact, but for a recipe book, you kind of do. As much as possible. That's why I put it in measurements of cups instead of like 2 stalks of celery, because you could have one really big, fat, long piece of celery and one really, did you ever get those really natural ones that actually the farmers grow and it's not mass-produced celery? They're tiny and skinny and sometimes very, very green and very, very earthy. That's going to have a whole nother situation than this like celery you could get at Air One or Whole Foods. Like I bought celery from at the farmer's market and I was like, whoa, it was so strong. So not all celery is created equal. So if yours is extremely strong celery, go easy. You could put in less. Okay, good. Nobody follows me measures really. I painted my bedroom, Nico, and the video is up. I used lime wash and my bedroom went from dark red to pink. It feels like you walk, no joke, it feels like you're walking into a rose quartz. Anyone who walks into my room that I say, come, I want to show you my walls, they say, oh my gosh, like it's almost like breathtaking because of the gradations that you get from the lime wash. And I use 2 different colors. So guess what? I almost did it again. The video is up on YouTube. You tried all my green smoothies and green soups. They are delicious. So if you wanted to get really excited, you would get the soups and smoothies. We have, Marina, we have like almost like a borscht, a raw borscht. We have a raw carrot. Yeah, so this is going to be just fine. I think it's about 1 stalk of celery is a 1/4 cup. So I will have done exactly what I wanted to do, which was a half a cup of celery. So we're good. Focus. Now, it called for half a cup of cranberries. We're going to make a half a cup. We're going to make them. That's a 1/3. That's so nice. I might chop the cranberries too. Yeah, I'm going to chop them because these are very plump. Yeah. You're welcome, Nico. Let me know what you think. I can't say it was not a live video. It was taken, like I did a little time lapse so you could see actually how I painted one wall. I tried to explain the best I could. It was 90 degrees the 2 days that I was painting. Holy moly. And my walls are old and they sucked up the life force of the paint and they sucked up, like it really was a challenge. And when I put the first coat of paint on the wall, it looked very like, really pretty, but I knew after the second coat, because you need to do 2, it's very brush strokey. And I was like, it's going to throw itself a little too on the orange terracotta side. So I had to get a bluish pink to do the second coat and take it down with half water, no, a 1/4 water. Anyway, I made the recipe. I told it on the video and hopefully you can let me know what you think. Okay, so we have half a cup of cranberries. I'm going to chop them. Just because you don't have to. My coffee substitute. So those is in the tonic ebook. So if anybody wants to know what the heck a tonic is, how do you make it, where do you buy the ingredients, where to order, where to get discounts. So thank you, Desi. Are you feeling like on cloud 9 when you get engaged? It's like, oh, somebody asked you to marry him. And you say he's tall and handsome and you love him. It's a hard thing. I love to hear good news. We all need as much good news as possible right now. Okay. We don't have to get to whatever, but I don't know. I was just feeling like maybe since everything else was chopped so tiny, I don't think I did this last time. If there's one full one, nothing bad's gonna happen. That's a lot. Doesn't this feel like a lot? Should I put in a 1/4? It does feel like a lot, I gotta say. These are very plump, gorgeous. I want a quarter cup. I'm going to put in a quarter cup and just see, because you could always add, right? So then when I'm recipe developing, then I make a note that I only did a quarter so I can remember. And these are sticky. I'm paranoid about my mic pulling down my skirt. I don't think that, you know, fresh cranberries are so sour that I don't think I would have had fresh cranberries. I don't think my mom and we have a cranberry dish that I use fresh cranberries for 100% for this other dish. Well, you could also open up a can of cranberries for the other one, but there's a dish that Herbie loves, which is cranberries, mandarin oranges, walnuts. I don't know, it's like this whole little medley. It's a Herbie medley that's going to be in the book. So I'm going to do less. Thank you, Lisa. I mean, vegan glory, mama. So now we're up to the onions. And of course, I'm going to need this cutting board, although I do have more cutting boards because you can never have enough cutting boards. I'm going to transfer my pretty apples into a bowl because this is going to be so nice for later. It's funny how the little things make me so happy, like a really good apple chopped up with some cinnamon, maybe some cranberries. Oh my gosh. Okay. Now what comes is the onion. And I don't remember, Lisa, do you remember the old video if I used purple onion or I used yellow? I don't like anything on the counter I'm not using. This I got to make the rumaki. My mom had dinner parties when I was little, and she always had, back in the day, bacon wrapped around a water chestnut with a toothpick. So I made vegan bacon, and that's going to go in the recipe book. But that doesn't, I don't really like the things that are, these are the eggplants I got. I can do it tomorrow for the rumaki. I don't like when things are on the counter. Only what I'm using stays on the counter. Otherwise, it confuses me and it's not clean, clear, and bright. So when I'm done with things, I just kind of move it out of the way. This is capturing the mushroom ends. I compost. Okay, good. We can always... Did I put all the, oh, there they are. I was like, where did the cranberries go? Okay, cool. So now, purple. Okay, I did buy a purple onion. This is too big. This is going to be too much. And so it does say 1 cup of onion. So I'm going, I think I have an onion already cut. Hold on. I do. That looks fine. Okay, so what I will do is cut off the exposed part that oxidized, and that can go on my little composty thing. And oh, that's hilarious. It went in my apple. Okay, here we go. So now, stabilize your onion. You always want to stabilize your food so that you minimize the risk of cutting. Do you notice I'm wearing red today? Today's Tuesday. It's Mars Day. The planet Mars rules today. So it's like, don't doubt, don't deliberate, don't mediate, don't debate, just do it. Do not hesitate. Don't hesitate, don't debate, don't mediate, or meditate. Just do it. Someone can quote me on that. So when Lisa said, are you going to do live? I'm like, okay. I didn't really hesitate. For a second, I was like, am I going to be able to measure and recipe develop? This looks fabulous. So did you see how I cut it? And then you just get the little pieces. I will give it an extra chop. And since we're only doing 1/2 a cup of onion, that's plenty. which I probably cut too much. But it's nice. I've been in the studio painting doobies at the Doobie Universe on Instagram. Join me, Dara Dubinet on Instagram. I have 2 pages. And I've been obsessed in the studio. This actually feels like a nice, refreshing break. Another way to use my creativity and passion. Passion for food is a good place to channel your passion. I know we started talking about libido. And what do? Like, you don't just shut it off because you don't have anyone. You don't shut it off because your partner's whatever. You have it. You have that internal fire, and you channel it into creativity. And then you're humming so that when the perfect situation does arise, you're awake for it. You're not just like numb. It's kind of like clutter in your home. Like, you have to be ready to move. You can't have a house full of clutter and hope that some better opportunity or better home's going to show up. No, you have to be like light and ready to go. The same thing with your libido. I think I rhymed. You have to be light and ready to go. The same thing for your libido. Do you have some oranges in your notes for this dish? I don't have orange, but I do have lemon. Yeah, it does look persimmon right now, but it's red as far as the rest of my clothes go. This is red, I don't really wear red a lot, but yes, persimmon's it does look rather persimmon, I must say. It's a little redder than persimmon, a little less orange, but here we go. So that's a lot of onion. Look, you know why this looks like a lot? No, I cut everything in half. Well, it's going in. I can always add more mushrooms or more bread. So now, I called for a 1/4 cup of walnuts before, and I'm thinking that I might keep it the same. What do you guys think? Lisa, what do you think? Lisa knows the recipe. I'm gonna smell. Good. Taste. Decent. Walnuts always taste a little funny to me. Let's see if I have another. I'm sure I do have another bag. I don't think they're bad. I just think that like right now I want a new bag, but I don't think that's gonna happen. So I don't think they're bad. I mean, I got everything like a month ago. No, I'm sorry, not a month ago, like 5 months ago when I ordered every nut, seed, chia seed, in case of what Jeff and I call the zombie apocalypse. I'm using them. So, so you say a 1/4 cup? Because, so you're saying the same amount. Like, I cut everything else in half, but maybe not this one, right? Yes, good crunch. I agree. And they actually might get a little soggy. I don't know. We'll see. I remember them being a little, maybe you would add these to the end, like before you served it. Definitely chop. Ooh, they chop so nicely. It's like interactive recipe development. It's almost like having Lisa here. If she were here, she would be photographing the mess and the fun. And we had so much fun making the tonics ebook. I mean, we're both passionate about tonics. Oh, the soups and smoothies also. I mean, you could see the love and the friendship that goes into what we do together, I feel. Funny. This is a 1/2 cup, but I only want a 1/4 cup. Okay. It really could always almost have more, but I think you can always add more. You can't retract. Can't retract and you can't go back. I'm rhyming. I feel a children's storybook coming up soon because I really have always loved to rhyme. I'm a rhymer. And looks like I'm going to have something for dinner tonight. That is onions, walnuts, and apples. So next, a quarter cup of lemon. So that means I need 1/8 a cup of lemon. What's that? A couple tablespoons. But I do have this, so this is kind of fun because you can measure it in ounces. This is a quarter cup. So, ta-da. But I really want to get a lemon. I have a half a lemon. So, my lemon squeezer. And then I need a bigger container. It's totally more fun doing this with you guys. I concentrate better without it. It's good. So I rest this. This is how I make tea also. So this is going to go here. And if I squeeze too much, it's really good to use with tea. Hot lemon water, hot ginger lemon water, hot ginger lemon, cayenne, honey water. And don't throw out your organic lemon peels. Do what my mom did and just put them on the stovetop with a little bit of water and a low heat, and you can get the scent throughout your house. Get the essential oils out of them, zest them. In fact, this recipe calls for zest. So I did wash it earlier. What did we say? We said 1/8 cup. That's funny. This is a quarter cup, so half of this. Is that right? Yeah, this is a quarter cup. So it's really 2 tablespoons. I was right. Just enough. It's like half a lemon. You could use a little more. Maybe it's, nope, just right on, half a lemon. And then zest of a lemon. I really am appreciating having a well-stocked, organized kitchen because let me tell you, just to effortlessly be able to find what you're looking for, it changes everything. This is definitely my mom's ad, I remember. And the black pepper, she was just good in the kitchen. She's the reason I'm good in the kitchen. She was just good, like comfortable, you know? She wasn't always in the kitchen. She worked and made things. She was an artist, but she just, oops, pit. That's like a king cake, baby, or a FAVE. Like in France, when you get the piece of cake, bite into it, and there's a baby or a little doll in it, a little figurine, you win and you're king. So whoever gets the pit wins. Okay. Yes, Amelia, it gets rid of the after dinner odor, if there is such a thing. I like when the house smells like onions or garlic or mushrooms. Should I be so lucky? But yes, if you're cooking something else that maybe Brussels sprouts. So now, I don't like the smell of those. Sesame oil. You guys are patient, just hanging through this. I don't know, is anyone still here? Is it just Amelia and Lisa? Is Lisa even still here? Sky Lily. Where do you purchase your almonds again? I get my almonds and my pine nuts and my hazelnuts and my walnuts from Sun Organic Farms. They're legit. Hi. Okay, you guys are here. Hello. Hi, Sutton. So I'm concentrating because I'm making my mom's and my raw stuffing modified. For the recipe book that Lisa and I are working on, finally, after knowing each other for 10 years and wanting to do this, it is going to be a doobie Thanksgiving. 1/8 cup. So the same as the lemon. Sesame oil. And we need nama shoyu. So it calls for my recipe. Like it. I don't follow recipes. I definitely don't follow mine. Like I haven't seen this recipe in so long. Oh yeah, this is gonna give it the umami, savory. You can use coconut aminos if you like, if you're worried about estrogen boosting from soy, but I have to say, this is like the better choice, in my opinion. Coconut aminos aren't strong enough, and they're not, I don't know, they have like a sweet twang. Any more? I'm gonna need more because tomorrow I'm making the rumaki, the vegan bacon. Okay, so now 1 bunch parsley, nope, half a bunch of parsley, gotta rinse this. That seems like a lot, but hey. You know why? You know why it seems like a lot? Because it could be a lot. Maybe there was a skinnier bunch of parsley in New Jersey, right? Maybe the parsley was really skinny in New Jersey and we used a whole bunch. But this seems very Californian, this parsley. So I'm going to use less and I'm going to measure how much I'm using. How about that? We'll put it in a cup. This is going to go over. Is anything in your face that shouldn't be there? Not like that. I'm making a little mess, which I don't like, but that's okay. I'm going to put my particularities aside for a minute because this is recipe development and video making, which is quite a feat. Okay, this smells so fresh. Yeah, I think this is exactly, you feel the same as I do, Lisa. This is a lot. This feels like enough. We could always add more, so we're using a 1/4 cup of finely chopped parsley. Not even half a bunch. So it's probably like a 1/4 of a bunch. A 1/4 cup. 1 bunch dill. So I'm going to use less dill too, although, let's see. So we're going to put this in here. Yeah, about a 1/4 cup. I'm pretty good, I have to say. Like at eyeballing. So it's so New Jersey. Eyeballing. Of knowing, you know, like how much something will be in measurement size. That's kind of fun. Just get comfortable in the kitchen, and you really can't make a mistake. And if you do, what's the worst thing that can happen? You know, put it away and make a bowl of popcorn or something. Popcorn needs to be in our Thanksgiving recipe book because I always make popcorn on Thanksgiving, and I have a special way of making it that's so delicious. Yeah. I'm just having the most relaxing time. Patty, better late than never. So this is stuffing that my mom and I made when look at this. That's the freshest dill that you could get. It looks like I just pulled it. It was my mom's favorite herb. So we're making stuffing that my mom and I made on Thanksgiving the year that Herbie decided to be close to vegan. No more turkeys at our house. And I was really excited. We want to wash this good because, I don't know. I just do. I'm thinking 1/4 cup. I'm thinking I need to grow dill that I just bought it out of a box is really alarming. I used to have dill, and I'm starting to plant herbs in my front garden again, so I will not have to buy dill in a package. We should be growing our own basil, our own dill, our own parsley, our own chives. I have chives too, which would be really lovely. Let's see how much this is. I'll call it a 1/4 cup. It's half of a 1/4 cup. It's 1/8 of a cup. My mom was not vegan, and my mom got really sick. And if she were vegan, and if she were raw, she would have been 1/8 of a cup of dill. She would have been better and okay. And she knew it, and I knew it, and that's why she said, when I asked her, what do you want me to tell Jada, as my mom was leaving this planet, I'd said this before, but it's worth saying again, listen to your mother about food. She knew. But she had her addictions. She had her, her things that she did, emotional eating and certain things after years of being a certain way. It's very hard to change, which is why Herbie was so incredibly impressive at 85 going raw vegan. It was shocking. He was the silver lining. So, but it was her time to go. And there were a myriad of things I found in the house that can contribute to a brain tumor. One of them being mothballs underneath the bed. Do not use mothballs in your house, period. End of story. So she also had some pharmaceuticals running in her. Garlic powder. Oh, yes, my favorite. I am such a huge fan of garlic powder. It's like my number one used. I have a fresh one. So I knew I was going to run out of it, but let's use the last bit of this one. So I called for a teaspoon of garlic powder originally, which means I was going to have a half a teaspoon now, which sounds about right to me. How about you, Lisa? This is not working. This is hilarious. Okay, we're good. That's a really good question. In the old video, I used fresh. So I used a teaspoon of garlic, a teaspoon of fresh garlic. I don't like that. I'm not sure that I did that, and if I did, I'm changing it now. Because when you use fresh garlic in a raw recipe, you have raw garlic. When you use garlic powder in a raw recipe, it's not raw, it's cooked, but it gives you that cooked flavor. So nope to my old self, and I'm going to put in another, it's going to be a full teaspoon because I'm going for it. I wrote down garlic powder. That's funny. Well, I don't have fresh garlic anyway. So the recipe is being modified. 100% prefer. I think it can be too pungent, raw garlic sometimes. It doesn't always agree with everyone either. Change it. Lisa says change it. Changing it. So it's got a full teaspoon. I'm going to have to take a picture of this and send it to you if you could read it. Lisa's a manifesting generator. So I asked Jenna, why do I feel like a manifesting generator? And Lisa says, I feel like one too, because I have all these ideas. But the thing about Lisa is that she has the energy, the generator energy, and can really follow things through beautifully, efficiently. And I know efficiency, I'm an efficiency thing. That's what projectors are. I love efficiency and good systems. And Lisa does everything in such good time, so efficiently, so beautifully done, that I appreciate it and can take on more than if I was just doing it by myself. This would take one recipe and then I'd be like, yeah, we're good. So I'm super appreciative. But the reason Jenna said, the reason I seem like a manifesting generator is I have gate 11. It's a lot of ideas. Ooh, celery juice well, Max Gerson and Charlotte Gerson, the question is, what do you do for kidney issues? And 100% you do it through diet. And celery juice, yes, but the premise is that when you heal one disease, you heal them all. When you cure one thing, you cure them all. Quoted from Dr. Max Gerson's daughter, Charlotte Gerson, who came up with the Gerson principle, and he cured 50% of his terminally ill patients with his protocol, which is rather intense, plant-based, no oil, no salt, some stewed pears, some stewed things, incredible. So what happens is most people have, and I'm not saying you guys, I don't know what anybody's up to, but I've seen the path go like this. People eat standard American diet, maybe not even, maybe they think they're eating healthy, but they're cooking with olive oil and they're having canola oil, or they're eating their food out of the house. And you can't control what oils are being used, how many times they've been used, if they're rancid, arteries get clogged, cholesterol levels, bad cholesterol goes up. Then they're handed Lipitor or some, I don't know if it's Lipitor, but some pharmaceutical that's going to take care of their cholesterol, which, by the way, could be handled purely with diet. And then guess what? The medicine, the pharmaceutical for the liver, the liver becomes overtaxed and leans on the kidneys to function. The kidneys have some failure, and then they take a kidney medicine and they get prescribed a kidney pharmaceutical. And guess what? The kidney pharmaceutical poorly affects the heart. Then they're on heart medicine, and the heart medicine and the kidney medicine do not go together. Like, I remember visiting my Uncle Artie in the hospital, Herbie's brother, and I'm like, what happened to Uncle Artie? And my mom said these words: his liver or kidney medicine, it was one of those, doesn't go with the heart medicine. And I was like, I gotta go. I gotta get out of here. So the point of the matter is make your food at home. Don't cook with anything other than coconut oil or ghee or palm oil. But palm oil is really bad for the environment. So I'm going to say coconut oil for the win. Drizzle the other olive oil, the other oils on top after you've cooked or on it raw. And that's what I have to say. So your diet gets cleaned up by eating an enormous amount of greens, an enormous amount of raw food, eliminating the offenders. That's what I have to say. The Budwig protocol did the same too, and it was flaxseed oil and cottage cheese. Amazing. I've never heard of a diet that calls for cottage cheese. My grandmother lived on cottage cheese, but she put sweet and low and cooked blueberries on top, on toast, on white toast. Every day, that was her lunch. So I always think of her when I have blueberries. And I would have monk fruit over sweet and low. Sweet and low is such a good example of why something could be FDA approved, but it could be like poison for you. I do not know. I'm fascinated by flax oil, great, not cooked, drizzled. Cottage cheese, I can't say because I don't think pasteurized dairy is great. I think if you're going to eat dairy, eat it raw, unpasteurized. So there's bacteria in it that can help your body digest it so it doesn't turn into just flat out mucus in your body. But that's just, here we go. We're going to carry on. We're almost at the end. Really, all we have left is thyme, pepper, and salt. And then mixing it and tasting it. So I bought thyme. This is like the longest video. How long are we? Yeah, 52 minutes, but that's okay. How many people are here with us? And how many people are thumbs upping? I notice the thumbs up when I go back to look at the video to put something there. I notice numbers, because numbers and thumbs up let you know you're in the right direction, right? Like, just energetically, why would you do something that isn't like feeding itself? So yes, Sky, Lily, I'm making a recipe book, and Lisa's facilitating and helping me and making it beautiful. She did the design and photography of the other ebooks, and we're taking my gorgeous recipes from many years ago of being raw, doing raw Thanksgiving, and we're making it into a book. And this is one of the recipes modified for this year, for current times. So now we have, I called for 1 teaspoon of dried thyme before, and now we're going to have half a teaspoon. You can see I never use. That's not a lot. It could use more. And pepper, I didn't say how much pepper, did I? Salt and pepper to taste, but I do have to give people an idea. And funnily enough, this is how I keep my pepper. So go figure how I'm going to capture and measure the pepper. It's so serious. Oh, I do love fresh pepper. There's something so satisfying about a good grinder. This one is dream form. It's just so great. That looks like a lot of pepper, but my mom liked pepper. So, Lisa, do you have any idea how much pepper? Are you still here? It's going to be so great. I hope. I can't wait to mix it. In fact, I should mix it now because we wanted to... it should have been melding, as my mom would say, melding together all this time. Oh, yeah. It maybe even could use more. Oh, it's so pretty, you guys. What? Wow. It could use more cranberries, I actually could say. I could see that already. So the only thing left is pepper. So I'm going to say half a teaspoon of pepper. What do you think? Yeah, you have no clue. I don't either. So I think we're safe with half a teaspoon. I think peppery is great for stuffing. Is that a lot? Vote, you guys. I'm going to sneeze. Okay, it's in. No hesitation. And salt. Now, you know I love salt. I love my pink salt so much. But we don't want to oversalt it. We don't want to kill it because we could always add more. But I'm a salty girl. Like when given the opportunity to have a snack at night, it's going to be salty. I don't go for the ice cream. Although Coconut Cult sent me their Gelato Ice Cream, 3 different flavors. Oh my goodness. Half a teaspoon of salt. This is 1 teaspoon. It's going in. Oh, I think that's not going to be enough. 1 teaspoon. And then we had half a teaspoon of pepper. All right, let's see. Oh, you know why? You know why? It has the name shoyu. I may have just oversalted it, but probably not. This is insanely gorgeous. I feel so very excited. It doesn't have a lot of bread in it, gluten-free bread, but it looks heavy on the apple, I have to say, if I had to guess, but you have to have a bite with everything in it. It looks like it's going to be sweet because the cranberry and a lot of apple, but I don't know that to be true. Who's ready for me to try it? Dun, dun, dun. Are we ready? I got to get a bite with everything in it. Okay, it's going to be a big bite. I wouldn't change a thing. The only thing, if I had to guess, that I would cut down, because I'm getting a lot of the brightness of the lemon, and I don't remember stuffing, like bready stuffing, to be lemony. So I'm going to cut the lemon. I only used 1/8 of a cup, 2 tablespoons. I'm going to cut it to 1 tablespoon max, because stuffing's supposed to be bready and buttery and not zesty. And I'm surprised at the lemon, but it's insanely delicious. Oh my God, there should be sage. There should be sage. 100%. Like, I never do mushrooms without sage. And certainly, yeah, I'm surprised at the lemon and surprised that the sage is not in there. Thank you. I feel like my mom's with me. Yeah, I would cut the lemon, like almost all the way out, believe it or not. I'm surprised I put lemon in it. Okay, so we're modifying, and that's the whole point of this. Lisa, I would take the lemon out. It doesn't need it because you have the brightness from maybe lemon zest. Maybe what had happened is it was too mushroomy and there wasn't enough flavor, and I needed the flavor of the lemon. I'm definitely putting 1 teaspoon of sage at least. It's heaping. 1 heaping teaspoon of sage. Thank you so much, Patty. 1 big. I see AJ. AJ remembers my mom. AJ's an OG. AJ the OG. Original gangster. My burgers used to have sage in them. Yes, every time I cook mushrooms, I put sage in it. To think I have a mushroom dish sitting in front of me without sage, I might put another teaspoon in just because. I don't want the lemon. It's okay. It's okay. The lemon is delicious to eat. It's just not like my childhood stuffing, like buttery. In fact, Lisa, if I want to make it buttery, you know what would be insane? I mean, since we're taking it to a next level with the gluten-free bread, I would add, oh my God, you guys, this is crazy. I'm gonna have to make this again tomorrow. I'm going to find somebody to feed. Get this, myokos vegan butter, tastes like butter, and a little bit in there would be insane. No lemon. And I want gluten-free, I want vegan Mario's bread. Vegan Mario has to go in my cookbook, my recipe book. Yeah, this needs myokos butter, no lemon, and I'm going to cut the apples a little bit. I did one, I think I did 1 cup apple. I'm going to do 1/2. So I'm going to do it again. I want it perfect. My mom wouldn't settle unless it was perfect too. It's pretty gorgeous though. I mean, nobody wouldn't want to eat this. Anyone would want to eat this. You guys would want to eat this right now. Like it's healthy, right? All it has is a little bit of sesame oil in it. It's pretty light. Some few nuts, but it's light for stuffing. I gotta say that, and it is fantastic. And if I had myokos butter, I would drizzle it all in there. Herbie's not on the corner. I would normally bring this to him. I need salt, believe it or not. I want the myokos butter. All right, until tomorrow. This could be tomorrow's live video. I gotta write down myokos. This looks so fun. This is like the old days with the mess and recipe development papers. Somebody's having a party. Is there a football game on? Okay. Sky, Lily, and all my lovies. I think we did good for today. Next up, if you want to follow along, you can get all of these ingredients. Everything's good. A little too much lemon. I'm really surprised that I had lemon, although I don't know. I know I keep saying that, but I'm really surprised. So this eggplant is going to be made into like lasagna strips with a peeler. And then it will be soaked in like a nama shoyu, olive oil. I looked for liquid smoke, but Erewhon doesn't have it, probably because it's not a healthy item. So I got Worcestershire sauce to try it. Vegan Worcestershire sauce, because I think normal Worcestershire, yes, I can say it, has fish in it. So this is vegan, made by the Wizards. Organic vegan Worcestershire. Vegetarian. Oh, Lisa, it's in French. Biologique. I bet it's French. Lisa and I went to Paris. Someone actually commented on our video and said that that's their favorite memory of me when you and I were in Paris. Do I like thyme? You know what? I just bought it for today because I don't ever have thyme. I have lots of thyme, but I don't have thyme the herb. So I don't know what to say. I don't dislike it. I don't know what dried thyme is going to do we didn't use very much, but I'd have to say no. Like, I think it has to be like cooked. I think we can leave out the thyme. It just makes it a little woody in there. I'm taking out the thyme. I'm adding myokos vegan butter. It's a little bit of a step away from my raw vegan days, but it's still really clean, really healthy, and really fun for the holidays. So I love you guys, and I'm going to see you tomorrow at 2 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Big hugs, and I'm going to see you then. And don't forget to thumbs up and get your greens on. And thank you for all the thumbs up. That's so sweet. Yeah, take out the thyme and add sage. Exactly. I'll take a picture of this. You're going to laugh. You want me to go over it, Lisa, right now, or tell you after? It's woody. Don't eat thyme raw. That needs to come out. I feel like my mom, I pictured us over the stove with a big pot. I was probably mixing it in one of her big pots at the stove, but we weren't cooking it. I've made gorgeous stuffing before that's not raw, but this is like a raw fusion one. That's what it is, raw fusion stuffing. Yeah, don't eat the thyme. All right, see you guys soon. Tomorrow.